I recently was having a conversation with a client, and we were talking about how we needed to go deeper with knowing who her client was. Like, we knew surface level of who she was, but it's the inner side, like the inner. Ooh, I'm so excited about this conversation. The inner dialogue that she's telling herself, or what she's actually really feeling on the inside, that she's not going to want to share with anybody else. So, for example, for me, is that I know that you are struggling with marketing. That's surface level. But what you aren't going to share with others is that you have every intention. You have the plan. You know what to do. You have the thoughts and ideas, but you simply just don't have the time and the systems in order to actually implement them. Like, you have been working on the same course that you're going to launch. You just haven't done it because you don't have the marketing to support it, to launch the actual launch of it. You have blog posts galore in your drafts because you go to write them and you're just like, I don't know. I just don't know how to, or you just don't have the confidence to post it. I see you because I once was there. So that resonates so much more than, hey, I know you're struggling with marketing. And so today, that's what we're talking about. Is I actually have shifted from an ideal client perspective to a client persona. And the difference is that this ideal client is like this made up imaginary person. It's like, she's 45 to 50 years old. She's a speaker, an author, an educator. She's someone who's struggling with marketing and needs help. Okay, that sounds great, but also she's kind of made up. I don't actually know her if I'm creating this ideal client, this ideal audience. And instead, let's shift the focus into our client persona. And they are so much closer than you think. So the first place that you're going to look for is your current clients. Who are you working with that best describes what you're building? Whether it's your website, whether it's a course, whether it's a lead generator, whether it's a new service, like whatever you're building, who is the client that you have that fits this the best? That's the person who you're going to say, okay, let me go ahead and describe her. Let me go ahead and listen back to the meetings that we've had where she has told me what she's experiencing, what she's feeling. You meet with her on a regular basis. You know her. You know what she's feeling. So that's the first one. Now, if you're like, okay, Chelsea, I'm a startup. I don't have any clients right now. Well, the next place that you're going to look is find a colleague, find a friend who's in business, find someone who you can test this service, website, lead generator, whatever it is. Find someone, a colleague, friend, someone in your organization, like your association or your community. Find someone and use them as a beta tester. I mean, who doesn't love a good discount or free service? Like, they're going to want to support you, first of all. And second, they're going to love a good deal. So find someone and test it on them. Now, I know if you're like, Chelsea, I'm like a real startup. Like, I don't even have a community yet. Well, you're going to open up your handy dandy Google and you're going to go to Reddit. You're going to go to social, and or if you're an AI girly, then I would say you can go ahead and plug in your AI and ask it to do research, but you have to be super specific with this if you're going to do it on AI. But if you're going to go to the Reddit threads, or if you're going to go to social, you're going to find them where they are. Meet them where they are. So that's going to be, like, for me, I would search hashtag women in business because I work with women business owners. If I work with speakers, so I could do hashtag speakers, and I could go to that hashtag search, and I can look at their content. I can look at what they are talking about, what they're feeling, I can finally put a face to a name. Yeah, a face to the name of who I was imagining. Now they're a real person. If you're going to the Reddit threads, find the threads where they're talking about what you are building, what you are solving. Like, they are telling you, it's full of great data. You just have to go find it, and you have to be selective on who you're looking at. But once you find that, you have unlocked a client persona because you know who they are and what they're experiencing. Now, if you're like, okay, I don't know, I don't have really good prompts, or for AI, or I don't really know where to go look, then what you're going to do is you're going to look at your younger self. Like, majority of the time when we build something, we are building it for the younger us. And so if you're like, all else fails, none of those places work, then go back to who were you when you first started. And if you're first starting, then who were you? Like, who do you wish to be with what you needed when you were younger? So, like, if you're a therapist and you experienced unhealthy relationships or unhealthy, like, lack of confidence, then as a therapist today, I want you to think back of who you were when you were younger, like who you wish you had as a therapist when you were younger. If you are someone who is in the coaching space, then think back of when you first started your business. If you're a business coach, like, think back when you first started your business, or wherever your person is in their journey. Think back to where you were. What did you need the most? What did you feel like on the inside? The things that you didn't want to tell anybody, the things that you were embarrassed or felt too vulnerable to share with others. Once you get to that level, you're going to resonate more than anything possible, better than any hack or trend or AI prompt, like, better than any of those things. If you can go deep down into the human connection and connect with them in those dark, vulnerable spaces. Because the reality is that what you're building, because you're a mission driven business, because you are so passionate about what you do, once you find that connection, it's just going to flow so much more natural than if you were to just kind of get a generic template and try to make it your own. Like, it's not going to feel aligned. It's not going to easily flow. So finding that deeper connection is going to be the unlocked superpower that you have. Now, let me reference my notes before I get off on a tangent. So when you build this client persona, what you're going to do is you're going to take this and use it everywhere. Everywhere. So for your services, for your courses, for your cohorts, for your newsletters, your Substack newsletters, your podcast, your YouTube, your bio, your content, like your speaking engagements, like everywhere. You're going to use this persona because that's going to help give you the clarity and connect with them. Now, the next level to this, like, if you are an established business and you're like, okay, I already have one of my personas like nailed down, but I know that my other clients kind of don't fit in this person. Well, what happens is that you actually start building a portfolio of client personas. So I get it. Like, for me, I have a client who is well established, who is ready to level up. She has had the same marketing and branding for 20 years, and she's just ready to move from the one-on-one client to the one-to-many area. So whether that's speaking, whether that is working with corporate clients, like, that is one of my client personas. Like, I know that's who I work with. But also on the flip side is that I also have startup founders who are looking to take their side hustle to their full-time business. Like, They are ready to make the investment. They're ready to invest their time and really pour into creating a structure that systemizes and lets them do marketing, but also not feel the weight of marketing. Like, do the thing without it being super complicated. Like, they just need the systems and the structure to thrive. And so those are my two client personas that I have. They are very different, but also in the same regard, they are very much alike. I'm just meeting them on different phases of their journey. Like, my goal is to have the startups eventually get to the place where they are the 20-year vet of business who's looking to level up. Like, that's my goal, is to have my startups get to this point, because it just helps them on their business journey, but also they stay in contact with me all through each of the phases. So as you start leveling up your personas and you're like, okay, I have one set, then you would go to the next one and say, okay, what's the next step of this journey of the person of who I help? And then you would start building it that way. And then once you get into like bigger brands and things like that, then of course you're going to have multiple personas with different people. But for the sake of this episode and for the sake of my small business owners, a lot of times our personas are just the same client, just in different phases of their life. So to wrap this up, is that if you are still with an ideal client, you're going to shift the lens from an ideal client, this imaginary person, to someone who's real, someone who's like actually in front of you. You have a face to the name, and you can actually see the real pain points that they're experiencing, the real questions that they have, the real business that they are building. And that's going to help you connect with them so much more. And the places that you find them are your clients, your past clients. Finding a colleague or a friend in business who can be your beta client. And if you don't have that, find a Reddit thread, find social hashtags, and look and find these people and put a face to the name. If you're an AI person, then you're going to use AI to help do the research on that side of it. And then if worse comes to worse and you still don't have someone to put the face to the name, then you're going to talk to your younger self. You're going to reflect on what you wish you had when you were younger. So overall, you're going to use this client persona to help connect with the person who you want to work with. It's going to help it a lot easier to connect with them on this deeper level versus this surface level. If you're like, is my branding, is my X, Y, or Z aligning with my client persona? I actually have created an audit. So if you want the audit, go ahead and go to thecpsocialcontent.com/client audit. And I have a free audit for you to take a look and assess where you are. Where is the mismatch in the communication between who you want to serve and what you are communicating through your course, through your cohort, through your website, through your social, whatever it may be. Choose one piece of that aspect and let's compare it to see how aligned is it. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week.